Whoa.
I'll have dominant sloppy seconds all day, every day. And this women's division is mine. Everything that you loved is mine.
Are you done? You're done, yeah?
I can keep going if you like.
No. I would love you to shut the hell up. You say that you've taken everything from me, but that's actually wrong. Look, you've taken a lot from me, yeah? A lot of my weak links. But the one thing that you really did wrong was you left me standing, Liv. And as long as I am standing, I am going to be coming for you. And you're gonna have to kill me to stop me.
Top of Wrestling with your hosts, OGM and the Professor.
Good shit. Late to every episode. Late so much, I'm going to have to buy you a pregnancy test.
Bob Roode.
I want to be a podcaster, yay!
His mama named Kenta. I'm going to call him Kenta.
Dynamite drop in, Monty. That broadcasting school is really paying off for you.
You're so high you don't even know it.
Ahoy, my boy. You ready for a Scotch ad?
We don't know anything about him. The only thing he's got in his wallet is a bunch of names of whorehouses. That's Flair.
Probably looks like Jim Duggan digging the tape out of his crotch.
Benoit, enjoy my wife.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Oh my God, mine just stopped recording. No, we're good. We're still recording.
What a dick.
I'd cease and desist me. I'd cease and desist me hard.
I need a minute to recover off that.
What kind of game is it?
War games! Let a war game!
You are impressionist.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing I've said in the last half hour.
Bark like a dog.
Oh, Jinx, holy shit. How did that actually happen? Here we go. Good Wrestling Day! It's Flair. Man, I miss that old intro. You know, after a while, we listen to it so much, we're like, all right, it's getting old, we need a new intro. But that was some nostalgia right there. I kind of like listening to that one. Welcome back. It's the Top of Wrestling. It is the season finale of what we told you would be the never-ending Season 5, but mathematically it couldn't be possible. So we are beginning a new season next week. This week is the end of Season 5. What's going to be different next season? Nothing probably. But what's happening today? We got news. We got bringing to the table. We got the Monday Night Wars 25 years later. And this is our fourth time talking about Sturgis. It's the WCW Road Wild 99 pay-per-view. Dear God, they get worse as each year happens. I just like when they start revving the bikes. But today's top topic, we're going to be talking the UWF, which is a segment that's going to be brought to you mainly by ODM. And through text, we got into a little bit of an argument with each other about what movie is better. And we're going to end up kind of doing a top topic and a final movie of the week because, we've been doing music and stuff. We talked about the Beatles last week. But we're going to have a debate, and we're going to get there. And I can't do any of this without the co-host, the Doc, ODM.
Finally, ODM is back on vacation. My vacation immediately starts right this minute.
Oh, this is how you're beginning vacation. Here.
Yep. I don't go back till Tuesday.
Nice.
So excited.
So how many edibles did you drop before the show?
I smoked a little bit of a blunt. That's about it.
Oh, man. Well, hey, this past weekend, I moved. I'm no longer in the Salinas area of California. I can't wait to talk about things from Bring It to the Table, man. It's been a long weekend. It's funny because when we were texting each other the other day, I made myself giggle. You said something, I go, someone's drunk, and so are you, Joe. It's been a long several days, so you'll understand why when we get to the table. But first, guess who booked their own death? Nancy did it.
What an asshole.
Yo, I texted you as soon as I saw that Kevin Sullivan died, and I wrote, so Chris Benoit did it. And you just wrote back JFC. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Maybe
Just timely, considering just 2 weeks ago was the conversation of, did Kevin Sullivan do it? And then all of a sudden he drops dead. You know why?
He knew we were
on to him. That's it. We were on to him. Oh, just fantastic, I guess, in some ways.
But
not
R.I.P.
Really. No,
seriously.
that's fucked up. No,
R.I.P. Seriously.
Honestly. He is a taskmaster. He's the booker. I respect you, Booker man.
Man. Did you see Paul Ellering pay respect on Raw?
No.
He came out.
He did. Yes, go ahead.
He had the X on his forehead, like
did.
Sullivan did. Yeah, back in Florida.
Man, I liked the. I liked him pre Dungeon of Doom, and then it was just obviously all of it got weird from there. But the feud with Benoit always ended up in a crapper. But either way, they were hard hitting, stiff matches.
Oh yeah.
Wonder what they're doing together, all together, and well, who's in hell? Anyway,
fighting in the bathroom.
Yo, how good have we been this season? We've called a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And we always, we tell you guys, we have a column that we've been putting this in, a little list. This is going to kill you when you hear how far back Season 5 was, okay? Because guess what? This is the 99th episode of Season 5. The first prediction of Season 5 was that from ODM, Bray Wyatt returns with a never-used-before gimmick. This was Extreme Rules 2022.
Jesus.
Yup. Well, you figure 56 weeks. 52 weeks.
52.
I don't know where
Not Bischoff.
I was thinking 356 for the days. Sorry.
Oh.
The next
365.
There it is. What did I say? Wow. Jesus Christ.
Swing and a miss.
Pot spaghetti. The next slew of what I'm going to name were all me. I was on fire at the beginning of, or the end of 2022 and the beginning of 23 with everything with the bloodline and all that stuff. But Sammy Uso became an actual name. I said that Drew and Sheamus would join forces with the Brawling Brutes. And for the War Games, Kevin Owens was going to be that fifth member. Which, that was the one where it was Bloodline versus all those guys, Brawling Brutes. That was actually a really good one, and that's where Sammy showed his allegiance to the Bloodline. Great one. I said Kenny Omega was going to challenge Will Ospreay for the U.S. title at Wrestle Kingdom 17. I said that William Regal would end up going heel and siding with MJF. That was another spaghetti pot pan throwing against the wall, and I can't believe it actually happened, but MJF would win the Dynamite ring, and that Zayn versus Roman would happen at Chamber. And then at the Chamber, or right before, ODM said it, man, Sammy's going to come out to his old face music. And when that first, let's go, that Montreal crowd lost their mind. And I remember you texted, called it. You called FTR returning post-tag title match at Revolution. Sounds like something that's probably happening this year, too. I called that Damage Control would take on Lita, Becky Lynch, and Trish Stratus at that WrestleMania, which was, 39? You remember when Wardlow's shit got stolen?
Yeah.
And you said QTV is going to take credit for all of it. And they did for several weeks. Remember when QTV was a thing, by the way?
A thing, yeah.
You said that Flair would induct Great Muta into the Hall of Fame. I actually called that not only Roman was going to retain at 39, but the tag team title match was going to headline night one. I called that as well. These next several are you. Don Callis was going to turn on Kenny Omega, and you called that long before it even looked like it was going to happen. You said that Claudio would join Jon Moxley in a trios match at Dominion, and that not only MJF would take on Tanahashi at Forbidden Door, you said they were going to open it, which was dead on. That was the second Forbidden Door when it wasn't horrible. I made the joke because they said they were going to do a Texas Chainsaw Death Match. I said, hey, might as well have Leatherface show up. Ha 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 ha. Oh.
Little did you know.
You said, all right, you called that Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley would close All Out with that international championship. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing possible. Motherfucker.
That's why.
It was a good call. I'm not going to lie. That was a really good one on you. I said Flair was going to join Sting at the end of his career. We both called Logan Paul winning the U.S. title. You called Adam Cole being the devil probably like week 1 or 2 after it just started to begin with the mask being shown. You said it's Cole automatically. I actually called that Butch should team with Tyler Bate again and go back to being Pete Dunne. That happened. I called Bayley winning the Rumble and that Damage Control was going to turn on Bayley and that she was going to challenge her own former teammate at WrestleMania and win. Called all that. We both knew Becky and Drew were going to win the Chamber. ODM. This is I called that it was going to be Awesome Truth winning the tag titles at Mania. I had some things, but ODM called not only all of WrestleMania 40 Night 2, but the outline, the outcome. He called Cena, Rock, and Undertaker. I was like, okay, that's a bit much. And I said, if that happens, I'm quit watching wrestling because it can't get better. But, goddamn, that was a good call by you, man. I called Ethan Page that was going to go to NXT, as well as the Hardys want to retire over there soon, and that Rollins was going to be the ref at SummerSlam. You called Nia Jax winning that goddamn title at SummerSlam last week, which I'm still in shock about. Not only did I call Dirty Dom was going to side with Liv, just last week I called that there was going to be a mixed tag team match with the Bash in Berlin, and they just announced that that's for real.
Yep.
And ODM, top to bottom, predicted the entire SummerSlam card.
Minus some turns. I mean, the results of the matches.
You called all the winners. That's what matters.
Yeah.
End of the day. I mean, hey, you go on DraftKings. Sometimes it's just that.
I know, right? Fuck. Gotta start doing that.
Yeah, it's all rigged. So, I'm sure you saw the MJF. He debunked the whole theory. Like, let's do a smell test. Do you really think I barged into a women's locker room and blah, 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 and all this shit with Britt Baker? She's back. She's on TV. So, whatever happened, I don't get it. Fine. Doesn't matter. But the best part that I found out recently is that you know how much I love Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm.
Britt Baker is set to appear on the latter part of this season of Cobra Kai. They released 5 episodes just recently. And on Netflix, they're going to do another 5 in November and then the finale in the beginning of 2025. She's in there somewhere, which I'm excited about. You remember a couple months back, I used that soundbite of Paul Walter Hauser, which is Stingray from Cobra Kai. You've seen him in other things. He was, what's that guy that got blamed for the whole Olympics thing in 96? Fuck, I can't remember his name right now. Richard.
I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Doesn't matter. I'll move on. This is the guy that's gone wrestler. He called out Matt Cardona in a promo while winning an Emmy, and he's like, and I'm ready to fight him at GCW. He had how do I want to describe this? An MMA type style match against Filthy Tom Lawler at MLW this past weekend. Out of every match on that entire show, that's the one to skip. Sadly. And I like Stingray. You know who else wasn't happy with wrestling recently? RVD thought, I'm going to watch Collision on Saturday night and watch Swerve Strickland versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Uh-oh.
RVD tweeted, I want my money back.
That's coming from a stoner.
Right? He's so stoned. You didn't pay for it, man. It was on TNT for free. But it was like an elbow exchange fest, which is every Ishii fight or any New Japan versus AEW guy. It's a chop fest or an elbow fest. Same shit. Rinse and repeat every match. Speaking of jerking off to getting chopped and just punched all day long and calling that an 8-star match, did you happen to see, before I put it in the notes, did you happen to see what Meltzer rated all the SummerSlam matches?
I did.
Ridiculous. Again, think about some of the things that have been named 5, 6, 7 stars. Yes, we have to always say No Benoit, no Kurt Angle, no Guerrero. None of those guys have any 5-star matches. Well, actually, I think Guerrero and Dean Malenko might for their match in ECW. But he gave Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley 3.5. Okay.
Out
I'm
of
not
5.
upset with it.
Yeah,
out of 5.
Sure.
I'm good with it. Now, what did we say? Out of 10 is how we would rank it?
Out of 10. Yeah.
Okay. I gave that match a 6. 6.5.
I went 7 on that one. I really liked it.
Okay. Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn, he gave 2.5. Okay, fine. It's not exactly your most flippy match, and it was done quicker than normal, but the execution and how things were done, out of 10, I gave that match a 5.
Yeah. Agreed.
Which I guess 2.5 out of 5 is
Yeah,
fine, but
I
this
mean,
guy
maybe
goes
5,
out of 7, so I don't know anymore.
If I was doing out of 5, I'd do 3, so I guess I'd say 6 then. 6
But then he gives Logan Paul and LA Knight 4 stars. I mean, it was good.
Sure.
It was okay. But, you know, we were also clouded by Machine Gun Kelly and all that other shit.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it was worth more than Breaker and Zayn. If you evened them
Maybe
both
a
out
little.
and gave them both 3s, I'd have been fine with it. I'm just saying it was a weird... That's weird. But this is the one that kills me. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. 3 stars. Out of 10, and you and I have talked about it. To me, 10 is Taker Michaels, Omega Okada 4, or the big one, the 2 out of 3. That's a 10. What I would have given Punk and Drew is like a 7.75, damn near 8. The storytelling, it doesn't have to be your flippy doos match. The fact that you can actually get away with punches, headlocks, and kicks and pull off. I mean, that crowd was hotter in that match than any other match in the night. You
It was a
cannot
story.
tell me they weren't.
It was perfect storytelling. Perfect storytelling.
A 3. And I'm going to say it's a 3 out of 7 because you can't say it's out of 5 anymore with Meltzer. That's 3 out of 7. That's what you gave Punk and Drew?
Yeah.
Then he gave Gunther and Priest 4.5. What?
I don't
Look at
get
that
it.
was a good match.
It was,
But I don't think it was
but-
better than Punk and Drew.
No.
So what I would give Gunther and Priest, solid 7. A solid 6.57 for 2 big hosses putting a big match together like that. They made the story seem good. The Baylor twist, everything. 6.57 for those guys.
6.5. Yep. I'm with you there.
And then he gave Cody and Solo Sikoa 4, which that's the one I probably would have given the 3.5 to.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was good.
But his highest ranking match of the night, the highest rankings go in order. Gunther Priest, Logan Paul LA Knight, Cody versus Solo, then you got Punk and Drew. This guy doesn't know how to rank shit.
No.
But speaking of Gunther, did you know that while being with WWE and or NXT, so you have his UK title reign, you have his Intercontinental Championship title reign, as well as his now World Championship reign. He has been a champion 75% of his career in WWE or NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if what I'm hearing about this, poor Walter. Yo, all I got to say is poor Keith Lee for ever making that tweet, because every time something good happens to Gunther, like he won King of the Ring, he wins the championship, man, for what I'm hearing is real. Poor guy. But on the other side of the world, we do have that G1 Climax still going on. And as you remember, because now that we have more guys than normal, they bring it down to the top 4 from each block get to compete in an 8-person single elimination tournament to decide the winner. The only people who have completely set themselves into that final 8 are Shingo Takagi, Great-O-Khan, and Zack Sabre Jr. Tonight, well, actually I think it might be this morning if I'm technically correct on that. This morning was the end of the rest of the matches to find out who the final participants are. Konosuke is very, very close. He is tied and in the running where he could... The fact that if he wins, he may get in off the fact that he beat so many other guys. Because it has to do with who you beat in your round-robin division. So there's a chance but it's a different tournament this year. We'll see how it turns out. And now, get your noses ready because it's time for TK's Quick Sniff of the Week. Woo! That was a good one. Jack Perry, his own video package was interrupted by a Taco Bell ad. They were in the middle of showing it, and then it just stopped and went to commercial picture-in-picture. Bong!
I would rather
Taco Bell.
I'd rather watch the Taco Bell commercial.
I do love a good cheesy gordita crunch. That's what really had me.
Hell yeah!
If you keep going, wow, the Bucks aren't really wrestling much and they haven't been on TV much. They're on a limited appearance schedule. Kind of like how Brock Lesnar used to be back in the day. This is kind of funny because this is why you shouldn't be an EVP and a wrestler at the same time in booking yourselves. And everybody could say, oh, well, Tony's the one that's the final say. Doesn't matter, man. They haven't done anything since April with those tag titles. They're set to defend them tonight against the Acclaimed, but FTR is lingering in the background. My money says it's a 3-way at Wembley. It's going to happen. Just like you're doing a 3-way at Wembley with the Trios Championships. You had again, the Patriarchy are your champions. And you got House of Black versus the Gangbang Gang on Collision. Special guest referee, Christian. And Christian beats the fuck out of everybody. So does the rest of the Patriarchy. So we're going to have a 3-way match. I guarantee something happens on tonight's Dynamite that it's not a clear finish between the Acclaimed and Bucks, and it's going to be a 3-way. It's happening. But did you know that Mother Wayne is actually officially listed as a title holder?
I did see that, yes.
Judy fucking Bagwell.
All over again.
Oh my God. It's happening. Wow, they really are trying. They're like, all right, well, hang on. Wait. We skipped a part. Who's Judy in our scenario nowadays?
Yep.
Well, we got my mom. Oh, good idea, Nick.
Sweet.
I like his stepbrother better, Lil. Yeah. Tony Khan trademarked Meat Mayhem. I've never seen someone so goddamn obsessed with the word meat. I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of gay friends. Brian Danielson says that he's going to likely need neck surgery by the end of 2024.
Not a
Good
surprise.
job. Thanks for joining AEW.
Yeah.
It's funny how he's like, I would never want to go back to WWE. What I'm doing is exactly what I want. Killing your body and dying earlier. Cool.
Cool story, bro.
Ricky Starks, Lucha Brothers, and Daniel Garcia, they are all set to let their contracts expire from everything that's being said. Plus, there's still the rumors of Motor City Machine Guns going over there. WWE is about to get really crazy, and they could really make NXT an extreme third brand. The way that Triple H really wanted to at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Khan says he is set to make the most important announcement in AEW history. Wrong answers only. What do you think?
Triple H finally accepted my friend request. I got a new Coke dealer.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff Hardy's no longer with our company, guys. I had to get a new dealer.
What do you think the real answer is?
I changed my mind. I'm letting Hulk Hogan come in here. And I hope he comes out crawling out like he did in TNA with the crutches.
Yeah.
But speaking of Tony Khan and his obliterating of wrestling, tonight the Bucks, as I said, are set to defend their titles. But also, Claudio Castagnoli apparently is going to be coming face-to-face with Kazuchika Okada. I think we're going to be setting up a Continental Championship match between him and Okada at Wembley. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, Mercedes Botchfest tried to do a promo on Dynamite. It was so bad that people didn't even want to boo. They were just quiet. They're just like, is this over yet? It's like that time that someone wrote, who booked this shit? When the Gangbang Gang were giving a promo.
Yeah.
It was quieter than that. Like, she was saying things, and people were like, mm-hmm.
You can hear the crowd going, hey, get me some popcorn while you're at it.
Yeah, I could take a shit. That sounds great. Yeah, man, it's just, I'm trying. I'd like to watch the show. I would. So, last week, even NXT is more exciting, man. Again, they're making Lexus King just look so good. Whether win, lose, or draw, he's on TV every week, and I see just so much potential with him. I can't wait to actually see him on the main roster because he can cut a promo. Wes Lee turned on the Rascals after MKG was their name, after they failed to lose the tag team titles. He ends up turning on them. I didn't see that coming. That was awesome. That was really good.
Yeah, they just got back together.
Yep. Joe Hendry. Did you see the video of him seeing or meeting a kid at like a meet and greet or like a signing or a Comic-Con or some shit like that?
No.
Man, a little kid couldn't have been any more than 4. Kept turning and doing the Joe Hendry thing, right? Like you do in the beginning of the video. And then he goes, come up here with me. And he stood up and he goes, on the count of 3, you're both going to look back at your dad. 1, 2, 3. And they did the Joe Hendry look. He's over, man. And I'm like, it's good for him. And he's being promoted on NXT and TNA. He's on both shows consistently right now.
Good.
He may be the most over guy in wrestling by the end of 2024.
Naturally over, yeah.
Exactly. Look, I know that sometimes he botches a little bit himself, but has Tonga Loa actually ever seen anybody hold up a championship belt before?
I have no idea. Maybe it's the eye patch.
Did you see? It's the eye patch. Oh my God, the depth perception is off. That's what it is. It's the not McPoyle. McPoyle.
Yeah, McPoyle. Yeah.
The one where his eye perception is off. It's exactly what it's like. That makes more sense then. Okay. He lifted up the championship and had like the main title all the way to one side and then just strap on one. It was horrible. Man, you would think that he grew up in the business. Speaking of growing up in business, Jacob Henry, Mark Henry's son, appears on Raw next to former AEW talent Mark Henry. So it's his first appearance on TV. Dude, I'm getting vibes of 27 years ago. You know what I mean? When 96 they first show Mark Henry, he's a big thing. I would not be shocked to see Jacob Henry in 7 years minimum mid-card champion.
Yeah, it's possible. If he got any of his dad's genes. I mean, Mark Henry, again, is one of those guys that I think he was underrated. I mean, yeah, to the point where when you look back at shit, he often gets left off the list just because there are so many other big names.
Sure,
it's easy to overlook him. I mean, the fake retirement was at the fucking end of his career, and he fucking killed it there. You know what I mean?
It wasn't even the end of his career. He still had 2 more years left, and as he said, I got a lot more left in the gas tank. I know, but 3 months later, or a couple months later, he claimed that world championship in Buffalo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From Randy Orton. We were like, what? I didn't see that coming. So it's just, don't sleep on Jacob Henry. That's all I'm saying. You see what they do with everybody else in their legacies. Ooh, Sexual Chocolate Jr. Hershey Chocolate.
Hershey's Kiss.
So one of the funniest parts of Raw was R-Truth talking to Miz, and he goes, I know last week you had to fight the Rock and Roll Express. That was A-Town Down Under. Man, you had to fight them too? But then I got you a match of Braun Breaker, and you see the screen, and it's Big Bronson Reed. And he goes, oh, didn't he kill Seth Rollins last week? And then Orton shows up. Wait, isn't that the guy that killed Seth Rollins? You got this. You think he's got it? No, not at all. I love the segment. And then Bronson, of course, beats the shit out of Miz. Pierce comes in the ring threatening, fines and suspension. I'm going to say what I'm going to double down on the sentiments of Mark Henry. Something I read of him on the Busted Open radio thing. Do not take your foot off the gas pedal on this guy. Right now, you're making him look like a powerhouse, but we've done that with millions of people. You did Braun Strowman, for instance, right?
Yeah. He's disappeared.
You can have him keep doing this, but do not let up. Do not let him lose to anybody. Do not let anything. This guy needs to go on a streak until Gunther doesn't have the title because he's a heel. You can't have him take that unless you're going to have him take it, the Intercontinental Championship, but that's another heel. So you just kind of painted yourself into a corner by really bulking this guy up, but you can't take the gas pedal off. You have to really push. Very big fan of Bronson Reed's new push. You've been a big fan of him since day one.
Yeah, I said last week he did the interview with that. Not the interview, but they showed him with Pierce saying, well, if you're not going to give me a match, I'm just going to go figure it out myself. I'm going to pave my own path. And in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, that's great, but you're a fucking mid-carder. And then the segment with Seth, and I'm like, holy shit. All right, let's do it.
Even, you could take out the Miz, but you just took out R-Truth too. That was
Yeah,
really upsetting.
they did him dirty.
Right? But every time you think he's done, he was even halfway up the ramp, and he goes, I'll do what I want. Turns back and does another one. I go, okay, I'm actually in on this. And people are like, that's overkill. It's too many splashes. That's the point. He's doing something completely different. Very big fan of it. While Orton got the RKO upper hand on Gunther with a little bit of help from Drew McIntyre, Punk jumps the barricade.
That was awesome.
And with Drew's own belt, whips the shit out of him.
Did you see the picture of his back?
Oh, yeah. Well,
brutal.
Jeez. Couldn't wear a soft belt that day. And Punk goes backstage. What I liked about the backstage segment with Punk is right before he's about to talk, you see Gunther come by and pissed off and knock something over. Punk reacts to it. And it's like, yeah, why don't we have two things going at once in the background? I kind of like that.
You're in the same arena, yeah.
And Punk saying, he came here and, quietly saying he couldn't make it, but he ended up making it. But when he held up the belt, that Drew's belt for his jeans, he goes, I think I know what people want. I think it's going to be a strap match. And I think it's going to happen at Bash at Berlin because everybody wants it to be the Hell in a Cell. Well, that's not till October 5th. We got time if you want to do something at Bash at Berlin. If Punk and him do a strap match, it's going to elevate beyond Dave Meltzer's 3 stars. But I'm excited about it. I saw the dude in a chain match face-to-face with MJF.
MJF, yeah. That was a good match.
But in a good company that knows how to really showcase the cinema and storytelling of a match, this is going to be so much better. I'm so excited about this. So I think it's going to be a strap match. Opening the show, Rhea Ripley came out. At first, I was curious what the 2 T's on her face were instead of the D and R. It's the Terror Twins, which is her and Damian Priest. Loved the segment because Rhea actually got the crowd under control. When she was like, guys, I want to hear you boo him, but I'm actually kind of curious to hear his excuses. Go ahead. Nobody could get the crowd to ever stop booing Dom. That was the first time someone actually handled the crowd the right way. The sloppy seconds chant, Liv cut it off. They couldn't even get the chant going because she got it, and she goes, oh, I'll take his sloppy seconds all day. And I go, oh, goddamn, that
was dirty
good.
Bitch.
Oh, yeah. I did like and this is something you've never heard before, Dom, but it just wasn't deep enough. I was like, dear God.
Wait till they're on Netflix.
When you came barreling in with that 3-inch, but the whole beating your deadbeat dad thing, but then, man, Priest showing up at the very end of it.
So great.
I liked it.
So great.
The brawl through the crowd into the concessions area. That was a great way to start Raw. I actually was very impressed with it.
Yep.
And Braun Breaker did win the 2 out of 3 falls. I didn't like that Sammy got the first pinfall. I didn't get that. No reason should he have gotten a pin.
Shouldn't have even had the match.
I think they were trying to make up for the very little time they were allotted at SummerSlam.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. American Made did defeat Alpha Academy in a Texas Tornado tag where Ivy Nile came and did like a dragon sleeper on Maxine.
It's pretty cool.
On the announce desk. Yeah, it was pretty. I'm going to break this bitch's neck if you don't get it. But it was... what I like the most is if you listen to American Made song, it's just enough of a Kurt Angle song.
Yeah.
Yep. To get the "You Suck" chants going. Whoever's idea that was, smart.
Yeah.
Great idea. You brought it back.
And Otis is another national treasure, by the way.
Oh yeah. It looks like now I don't know. We recorded, when we did, and this is airing on Wednesday, but I wonder if he's going to be the one that's the open challenge to
Oba Femi. Yeah, they definitely teased it that way. Yeah.
It was too big of a tease for it not to be. They're like, and now he has an open challenge. I'm like, why'd you have him show up then to get in Otis's face? It seems like it's just too well.
What did you think of Odyssey Jones, his match? Pretty standard showcase.
Yeah, pretty good.
First match. I like the finisher.
Same shit. I do. Same shit with Xavier, man. I'm telling you. And next week is the 6-man tag.
That's when it happens.
Be it. And Cross called it out. He's just replacing Big E.
Yep.
And he's here to
No,
replace
he said he's
two
replaced you.
Xavier.
Yeah.
No, but he
yeah,
did say Big
I
E,
gotcha.
but he said both.
I
It
gotcha.
was. It's got to be Xavier turning. The way he's acting and looking, there's no way it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
Unless
and
you
I-
really want to get me out of nowhere and Kofi turns, I'd be like,
Yeah,
okay, job well done.
Don't do a swerve just for the sake of doing a swerve. You know what I mean? That one doesn't
Actually-
make any sense.
Actually, you know what would be the best swerve?
Odyssey.
Odyssey turns,
Yeah.
joins the Final Testament, but now it causes a riff with New Day.
Yeah, but then you've got
Could go-
three hosses, and you've already got AOP, who are really not getting a ton of time. So
Fair enough. Well, next week we do have that match, but we also have officially Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. But it looked like Pete Dunne basically broke Sheamus's arm right before this match anyway. So
yes,
I
with
don't
the
get it.
shillelagh. Did you see? I was at Wheezy's and took the bigger half of a gummy. We'll say that, and we were just dying because they did that interview in the stands, the empty arena with Dunn, but they kept doing this camera angle where it was off, at an angle. So Pete Dunne wasn't looking directly at the camera. It looked like he was looking at camera 1, not camera 2.
Yep.
And then at one point he does like the hard look over to the person interviewing him, and he goes like that, and the angle was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. It was comical.
Speaking of comical, did you see when Mark Henry and Jacob Henry were there? Henry just kept looking around. I think he was just kind of confused to see fans all the way around the arena.
It's been a while.
All right, man. Strap in. Speaking of it, it's been a while. I haven't told a good story in a minute. Here we go.
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
Bro.
So I left Salinas, California to head up towards Sonora Friday at like 10 a.m. for a 3-hour drive. We didn't make it there until 1 o'clock the next day. Why, you ask? Yeah, the RV hadn't started in 9 months. Started no problem. Like a glove. We go and we're driving. We're about 45 minutes into the drive. My wife goes, let's stop here at this place to get diesel. I go, that's a smaller place. She goes, yeah, but we stopped there on the way in. Let's just stop on the way out, get some diesel. We're on the way. Really don't feel like it, to be honest with you. She goes, because I'm the one driving. I'm like, I just want to have a straight shot as long as I can go here. A minute. She convinces me to go. We go to the pump. We turn the RV off. I pump. RV never turned back on. Now, the saving grace, we broke down directly at not only a diesel gas station, but it also serves as an RV truck repair.
Oh, nice.
These motherfuckers came to the pump and fixed my shit. Problem is, it was too late to get to the campground, and they said, you're going to have to come tomorrow. Because it was a very, very tight setup where I was going to be set up in my spot. And they said, we want to make sure that we're here to help you back into your spot because we're going to have you do like a different angle, whatever. It's not easy. No problem. So we went to stay at a nice little shady Motel 6 for the night because we wanted a nice cold or hot shower, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're feeling at that time, because it was 100 degrees. The only time I didn't want a hot shower, this thing was only pissing out hot. It would not give me any form of cold, and I was just dying that day. Stayed at that. Went there the next day. I get to our place on Saturday. Plug in. We get going. We got air conditioning. We got lights. Water runs. And that's it. No outlets, appliances, or anything work in the place.
Huh.
What the fuck? So we're having an issue. We found out, and my wife has actually researched and replaced some of this before. There's a comedian I told you about, Nate Bargatze. He's always like, yo, I don't have the man cave. Like, he goes, I'm not a guy. If someone fixed something in the house, it's my wife. You're going to want to talk to her. She's in her garage. That's kind of like what it is over here. She's she's more the fixer when it comes to a lot of shit. And no problem admitting it. These fingers, I get paid to use these things. Music, by the way, music.
Uh-huh.
No, but we knew it was this fucking battery issue. So they send, See this fat piece of shit you're looking at up here on my logo?
Looks like a big fat piece of shit.
Yeah, well, they said we're going to send this guy. We're going to have him there Monday. We're going to have him having you have electric before he gets out of there. He'll be there at 10. Okay. Shows up at 2. And what is he doing right now? What you see on this picture?
He's sitting with his arms folded on the phone with somebody.
Yep. He didn't know what he was doing. He had to keep calling the boss to ask questions about things. He was here for 4 hours. All he was supposed to do was take out 4 fucking golf cart batteries, put in 4 brand new ones, reconnect them all to the house because it got corroded in this one spot and we needed a new clamp and everything hooked on, right? Whatever. I'm not sure if you understand that kind of terminology.
Yes, I do. I gotcha.
Okay. Took him 4 hours to really do nothing. And then he comes up to me at 6 o'clock at night and goes, well, it's 6, so I got someone coming in here tomorrow morning. He's going to take care of the rest of this. And I go, whoa. I need electricity, man. I took off a day of work from this because I don't have power. I can't use my phone. I can't use my computer. I can't plug into a fucking wall. I need electricity. And he goes, well, you have air. Yeah, my computer doesn't work on air. I think we're having conversations. Then, now my wife and I have been laughing at it the whole time. It was fun for a bit when we're like, yo, he's so stiff and pudgy. Because like everything he did, he stood up, he's like, like how they make Marlon Brando look on Family Guy. And I go, yo, they sent the guy with the GED because he keeps calling every fucking minute to ask questions about the stuff. I go, they sent the GED electrician. Fuck. So we're out there and I'm talking to him and he goes, well, let me ask you, what is it you guys want me to do? My wife and I literally go, hook this up and give us electricity. And he goes, and my wife goes, I actually replaced all these at one point. Again, the reason we can't is something got corroded that we couldn't fix. We needed the expert for the main house big ass cable.
Sure.
And so he's like, what do you guys want me to do? We said, and my wife goes, I actually got this done in like an hour and a half at one point. And he goes, well, you've had more time to research. And I go, what?
Picture an electrician.
And I lean in and I go, my man, I got to ask you a question. I don't mean this in any sarcastic way. Have you ever worked on RV batteries before? And he gave me the dirtiest fucking look. And I go, yeah, here's where we're going to go. I can already feel this. And he goes, what do you need? I go, I want you to give me electricity to my house, as you said you were going to. He sits down. He's just getting ready to look at the batteries. And he looks over at me and he goes, what? Like that. And I go, are you serious? And he goes, are you fucking serious? He swore at me first. Goes, are you fucking serious? And I go, bro, I'm paying you. We're fucking paying you. I'm asking you a question. You don't have the right to fucking flip out on me. And he starts packing up his shit like a baby and going, fine, I'm not doing this. Yeah, I'm out of here. And I go, what the fuck, dude? My wife, to her credit, she's like, stop, Mark. Just, it's not helping right now. And I'm like, but are you serious? I go, he's going to walk off and didn't even do the fucking job. And I still don't have electricity. I'm like, I didn't even yell or swear. I'm actually just asking questions. And I go, and I look at it, I go, let me ask you a question. If I walk away and you deal with just her, are you going to finish this fucking job? And I go, because you're acting real fucking fissy. And I go, or fussy. And he goes, well, which is it, fissy or fussy? I go, oh, I'm going to punch him. I got to go inside. And he leaves and takes off, leaving a mess, and we still didn't have electricity.
Jesus Christ.
Today, now, I called the owner last night. My wife and I both did, and I gave my piece. And he goes, he's a nice guy. He normally doesn't get like that. And I go, and he goes, you must have said something to piss him off. I'm like, that really bothers me that you said that you're going to go out on a limb. I'm like, because I wouldn't just swear at someone for no reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do it on this show because it's what we do. But on a professional standpoint, I don't swear at people.
Yeah.
I have class when it comes to that. I'm not just going to.
Well.
I know. No, but if you're like, this thing's a piece of shit. Yeah, you're right, man. I know it's really kind of shitty, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But when it's at me,
right,
saying fuck you or anything at me, you're taking a different road. But anyway, they sent a new guy out here today. Kind of resembled Jelly Roll. Guy had everything done with electricity back up and running in 45 minutes. He sent the right guy this time, not the GE guy. So yeah, if you're looking at our logo today and you're like, is this guy a wrestler? Who is this fat, pudgy piece of shit in red on a phone? That special GED fuck is someone you never want to ever do electricity on your house. That's what it is. What are you bringing to the table this week, man?
Not the GED electrician. Oh, it sounds like a great episode name. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I was at PetSmart with Mrs. ODM the other day. We were just getting a couple things and go to checkout, and there's a lady working the checkout register. She was not a pretty young thing. Go ahead and sing it.
I want to love you. Be one thing.
Pretty one thing. Been stuck in my head all goddamn day because of this. Yeah, and it was just great because she had a T-shirt on. It said, "Let's talk about puppies." I'm like, where the fuck is Lawler? Is he hiding around here somewhere?
But was it a butterface?
It was an older lady. Could have been my aunt.
Okay.
So it was more
Ever
than a
banged
butt.
someone that was as old as your aunt before?
No, and just no good T to B.
Oh, okay. All right, take me a minute.
Toed a button.
Not a belly button guy. It's kind of gross.
Other button.
Oh, that button. Oh, well, I need to take a break. Let's go to the wars. Monday Night Wars!
Super heavyweight self.
See? Told you. Super heavyweight. I got it. Super heavyweight.
And I went and got me another super heavyweight.
Oh, boy. Who could this be?
So without any further ado, let me introduce to you the newest super heavyweight of the World Wrestling Federation, my cousin, Crash Holly.
My God. His cousin. That's Hardcore Holly's cousin, Crash Holly. Who wants to have that arrogant swagger that his cousin Hardcore possessed. Another big shot.
Hey, you want to ride on my hog? Oh, wait, this is Road Wild. This isn't Vince McMahon in WWF. My bad. Hey, it is Road Wild 1999, and it is not only in Sturgis, it's our fourth Sturgis show. The first one that we watched was 1996, and we're like, wow,
Wild.
that is Hog Wild. It was the only hog, right? Or was the second year hog?
Nope, only one.
Nope. Hog was the first, which was Hogan versus the Giant after the formation of the NWO, and he ends up winning the championship there, as well as I believe the Outsiders end up winning the tag titles there or around that time. And we're like, wow, that's really annoying with the bikes. Hopefully they get that shit under control if they ever go back. No. Yeah, these guys have masks on in the ring. Let's just rev our engines. I'm excited. Not really. It was
Me
a horrible
neither.
pay-per-view. Honest to God, do me a favor. Don't spend much time on the details for Hog Wild. Go ahead.
Don't worry, this was fucking terrible.
Hog Road.
Wild Hog. It was August 14th, 1999. This is the last Road Wild, and thank God for that. We open up with Vampiro and ICP with Raven versus Kidman, Eddie, and Ray. The crowd seems like they could give two shits. Eventually, Eddie Chance get going. My favorite part of this and my favorite part of the show was on the hard cam. You could see the food vendors in the background, and I just got hungry while I was watching the whole thing.
I was laughing. I was like, how dead is it on one side of the crowd that you are showing the vendors on the other?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised you didn't see the merch table.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Butterfly fries. Sounded good.
God damn. You know what? Keep talking. I'm going to go make those.
Kidman gets the win with a shooting star press. Next, you get Canyon and Bam Bam versus Harlem Heat for the tag titles. During the entrance of Canyon and Bam Bam, Bam Bam's title belt eventually said, well, fuck this, and just popped off and fell to the ground.
Yo, I texted you. Did you finish the wars yet? Just the pay-per-view. Oh, good. And all I wrote was, Bam Bam? Just a question mark, because I wanted to see if you were on the same page, that you saw the engine, and you're like, that title said peace out.
His belt said I'm out.
Dude, all he did was just raise his arms in the air, and the title's like, too much, guys. We're out. We can't hold it. I know we're made of metal buttons, but it's too much for us. And Canyon looks as Bigelow bends over to pick up the title and struggled to pick it up because he was still kind of walking, so I think he half stepped on it when he was trying to pick it up. All of it was hysterical. This was actually the best part of this entire pay-per-view.
Pretty much, yep. Canyon tries to do his shtick, gets drowned out by the motorcycles. DDP comes out, but he takes a bump from Bam Bam, and Harlem Heat wins, and they become the eight-time tag champs.
I feel like that was only 7.
No, it wasn't. I counted. Next, you get Kurt Hennig, Bobby Duncombe Jr., and Barry Windham versus Saturn, Douglas, and Malenko. They are now being referred to as the Revolution. Honestly, I'm already checked out at this point. I was staring at the food tents even more at this point, still getting hungry. Saturn gets a pin with the DVD. Fight continues post-match.
And next, what is Kurt Hennig's group now? The We Hate Black People music or something? Or what was it again?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
It's based, no, I'm saying this because, yes, I get they're saying rap is crap, but it's basically like a full-blown racist gimmick when you really just watch it.
West Texas rednecks saying they hate rap, feuding with a rap group. At Sturgis, I'm surprised they didn't get cheered more.
I was like, I'm surprised there weren't N-words dropped. Like, Jesus.
I was listening.
I was listening. Horrible pay-per-view. Please keep going.
Next, you get the Cat versus Buff Bagwell. The Cat's taunting fans on the way to the ring, and he has and the Cat's gloves have Confederate flags on them. I
want to remind you all, Ernest Miller is black.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Every time the Cat tries to cut a promo, the fans rev their bikes. He tries to go over it. They start chanting "Pussy Cat." This is when I started clipping my toenails. Buff wins with a roll-up. Cat beats Buff down post-match.
I swear to God, did you write that in the notes because you think that was funny, or were you really like,
I was clipping my toenails.
The words are so bad, I'm going to grab the nail clippers and start.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Started clipping
That's
my
gross.
nails. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Do me a
wash my
favor.
hands before
Keep
I touch
your
the
hygiene
keyboard.
to yourself.
Next, you get DDP versus Benoit for the U.S. title. No DQ. There's a sign. It says, "Look at me, I'm butt ugly." That's fucking great. You're a wrestling fan. You probably are. DDP apologizes for making fun of
what
Ben.
are you saying about us, you dick?
Oh, he's looking in the fucking mirror. I'm
We're
looking at
diamonds in
myself
the rough.
here. Yeah, we'll call it that. DDP apologizes for making fun of Benoit's mom. Says, "I'm sure you love your mom, but from what I hear, so can anyone with a phone and $2.99 a minute."
Oh!
Honestly, that's one of the better ones.
And that will be what Mama Wayne is doing in the next couple of weeks, taking your calls on AEW.
I'm sure she looks better than Benoit's mom did.
Before or after?
I mean, they called Benoit the Rabid Wolverine. That's probably what they said about Benoit's mom's. Never mind. DDP at one point takes the belt off of Charles Robinson and uses it on Benoit. Heenan goes, "Hey, Mike, your dad ever whip you?" "He sure did." "Shivani, did your dad whip you?" "Never." Heenan says, "Well, get in there. You deserve it." I like how Tenay just goes, "Definitely sure did."
Oh, yeah. Especially the time I came home dressed like a little girl.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
DDP at one point hangs Benoit with the belt he took off of Robinson. It's a sign of things, never mind. Canyon comes to ringside. Douglas, Saturn, and Malenko are just watching on the monitor, which is fucking hilarious. Bam Bam comes out, hits a splash. It's a 2 count, but Benoit retains. Next, we get our WCW bike giveaway. This was the most awkward thing I've ever seen on camera, even by WCW standards. Next, you get Sid versus Sting. Go ahead.
I will actually go as far as this was as bad as Jeff and the Biker Chicks.
It was worse.
And the time that Todd Pettengill and Sonny had to call 6 different phone numbers for people who were actually watching the pay-per-view to win the money.
That
My
was
favorite
terrible, too.
one. Are you watching SummerSlam? No, we're not. That's the fan you want to give a house to.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. No, this was worse than all of them. Yeah. At least Pettengill got some jokes out of it, and you got to see Sonny's tits.
I miss him.
Oh, God, as long as he's not doing the slammies. Next you get
Big
Sid
man's
versus...
got plenty of nuts. Ted Turner don't. Do you want me to sing the rest?
Nope.
I'm just going to start randomly blurting out parts of that song from here on out. Not for the day, but like...
I'll catch a
in the
flight
show.
to whip your ass.
Okay.
Just for that.
I'm in Salinas again.
Okay. Sid versus Sting, I wrote one note. Sid wins clean with a choke slam. Next you get Goldberg.
Are you hearing voices? One man thought he did.
I will get
That's
up and I will walk away.
That's not uncommon.
I will
when
walk
you're
away.
Psycho Sid. That was a part of the song. I'm sorry, you led right in with Sid. It was just too easy.
I'm going to get up and leave. Goldberg versus
Don't make
Rick
this show better. Don't you dare make this show better.
Yeah, well. Goldberg versus Rick Steiner. Steiner uses Goldberg's knee brace as a weapon. Apparently, it's no DQ. Goldberg fights back to spear jackhammer. Next, you get Dennis Rodman versus Macho, and I don't believe I'm going to say this. And again, context is important. This was the best match of the night.
It was pretty entertaining. You know what? Savage can work with a broom and make shit look good.
Bro.
But he actually made Rodman look really good, better than any tag match he ever did with Hogan, anything. This was really well done.
It was. We've said it from the very get-go when Macho and Hogan came over. Macho's the one that stayed consistently over and did the better work. There's no fucking two ways about it. Macho was the man. Get it? So Rodman asked Macho, hey, where's my bitch at? And Macho says, tonight you're my bitch and I invite anybody for sloppy seconds. You. The best part of this match was how many refs they went through. Rodman takes the ref out at the beginning of the match for a slow count. Second ref comes in. Macho takes out one of the photographers and uses his camera as a weapon. Then Macho takes out Mickey J for a slow count. So Scott Dickinson is your third ref. He comes in. Macho immediately takes him out. They fight up the ramp to behind the stage. Macho locks Rodman in a porta potty and knocks it over. Ew. Just ew. They end up in the ring. It's another ref bump. Gorgeous George comes to the ring, gives Macho a chain. Nick Patrick comes in. George nutshots Rodman. Macho uses a loaded fist, gets the win.
Sadly, match of the night.
Yeah, sadly. It was. Main event, Hogan versus Nash, title and career on the line. Hogan gets color, hulks up, retains, and I can't wait to see how they're going to get around Nash putting his career on the line.
Nitro,
8/16/99. It's Lash LaRue versus Hoovy to open up the show. Sid shows up, wrecks the shop. He's facing Hogan tonight. Says he's going to do this all night long until Hogan gives me what's mine. He basically wants Hogan to just hand over the title. Next, you get Steven Regal with Dave Taylor versus Scotty Riggs. Sid is back, wrecks the shop. Next, it's the Cat versus Mike Enos. Cat says he's going to beat this chump in less than 4 minutes. He does it in 3:39. Sid did not show up. Hey, remember when we saw Alex Wright in the crowd looking like a Bond villain?
oh my God.
Well, we get a vignette.
3 months ago.
Yep, we get a vignette. That's the last time we saw him. We get a vignette for his new persona, Berlin. But instead of B, it's BERLYN.
Oh, that rebel.
Yeah. Next, we see Sid in the back wrecking the luchadors. He power bombs La Parca on a giant bag of popcorn.
It's like the best way to take any bump.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put you on popcorn tonight. What do you think? Fucking awesome.
Yeah, for real. Can I take it home with me? Next, you get Ray versus Lenny Lane with Lodi. Sid's back. Sting makes a save, then Hogan. Sid powders. Gene just decides it's a good time for an interview. Hogan says he's here to train, take his vitamins, and kick your ass. Hogan says after kicking Sid's ass, I'm going to give Sting a shot at the title. Next week in Vegas. Next, you get ICP and Crew versus Pubic Enema. Jesus. Nope. ICP wins. Next, you get Gene in ring with Harlem Heat. and they're going to turn this mother out. Now, can you dig it? Next, you get another Berlin vignette. Next, you get the NWO Black and White come out. It's, if you forget what the NWO is or if they still exist as far as the Black and White, it's Horace, Scott Norton, Brian Adams, and Vincent. They run down Stevie Ray, and Adam steals the mic from Norton mid-promo. Says, tonight, Vincent and Brian Adams are going to face Harlem Heat, and Adam gets jumped out of the Black and White by the rest of the guys.
It's funny those 4 guys are like the only ones that are still holding on to this NWO gimmick. Hogan, Nash, everybody all left. Sting was apparently in it at some point, right? All of a sudden he's just back to Black and White. These 4 guys are holding, it's like holding, they are Al Bundy in the 4 touchdown game. Jesus Christ, that's exactly what all these guys are in NWO. Man, there was a time our team member threw Rey Mysterio up against a trailer head first. That was a good day for us.
They're the offensive line from the high school football team that won states 30 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. You nailed it, yeah.
They're really holding on to nothing here.
Yeah, well, speaking of, Gene's in a ring with Kidman. Gene wants to know about this clique. It's Eddie, Rey Mysterio Jr., Conan, and Kidman. Kidman says they're just a bunch of filthy animals. They like to party and chase the chicks. Gene asks Kidman, have you seen the Nitro Girls pay-per-view? It's not a question if I've seen it, it's how many times. Gene says, I've seen it 17 times. I don't doubt that one bit, actually.
Well, 17 different socks.
In
but
a row?
Here's the thing. Okay, I have to take a sidestep here. I watched this thing the other day. Top 20 movies that one scene would have changed everything. Did you know there's an alternate version ending?
Yes.
Or alternate ending to that where Dante dies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was supposed to be the original ending.
Yeah, same with Rambo. First Blood, he was supposed to take his own life right there instead of going out to the cops. We would never have had Rambo 2, 3,
Rambo
and all
2,
the later shit. So just kind of crazy. Like, but I did see that the other day. I'm predicting it right now. They're going to eventually have a group called the Filthy Animals. Calling it.
Well, yeah, he just did it right now, so there you go. Kidman says Kimberly's drop dead gorgeous. That's my favorite Nitro Girl. No disrespect to Diamond Dallas Page. Well, guess who comes to the fucking ring? Page takes out Kidman. He wants a ref and says, let's just have a match. And they do. Kidman wins with a roll-up. DDP beats him down post-match. Hits a cutter on the ref, then on Kidman. And then Kimberly comes down with her milkers and pulls DDP off and brings him to the back.
Never gets old when I hear you say milkers. Go ahead.
Next, Disco Dirtbag comes out, puts himself over, calls out the filthy animals. He says they're trying to recruit him. Benoit comes out and says, get your ass to the ring. They have a U.S. title match. Benoit wins. Next, Goldberg versus Barry Windham. It's a squash. Next, Harlem Heat versus the NWO Black and White for the tag titles. Brian Adams comes out, takes out the Black and White, and Harlem Heat retains. Next, you get Rick Steiner versus Brian Knobbs. Rick Steiner retains the TV title. They show part of the match of Macho and Rodman from Road Wild. At least they picked the right match. Next, you get Bam Bam versus Saturn. It's a ref bump. Canyon comes to the ring. Douglas comes out. Malenko comes out. Benoit comes out. Saturn gets the pin. Main event, Sid versus Hogan for the world title. Hogan uses a chair. There's no DQ.
Hold on. It's a WrestleMania 8 rematch. This has a chance to be better than its last one, considering Papa Shango fucked everything up. So, please, go on.
Well, Hogan uses a chair. Still a weak chair shot. No DQ called. Rick Steiner interferes. And when Rick interferes, the crowd unleashes a fucking shitstorm. Dude, I think they threw more trash at the ring now than they did when Hogan turned.
Yep.
It was brutal. Sting makes the save. Then Hogan hits a big boot and leg drop on Rick Steiner, pins him, and the ref counts 3. Huh?
I swear to God. I can't even. Hang on. I backed up to the beginning of the match. All the way to the beginning after this. To hear if they said it was a triple threat match, and maybe he took too long to come to the ring, because I was like, what? Wait, what? I thought this is a one-on-one match, and he just pinned Rick Steiner. There was no tag out. There was no, hey, I'm taking over for him. Just pinned Rick, and the ref's like, well,
good enough
he's
for me.
in the ring. Good enough. You pinned the wrong guy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
Must have been a GED ref.
What do you... Probably. Fuck. Let's go to Raw, which honestly this week was not much better.
No.
Raw's in Milwaukee. China and Triple H are shown arriving to the arena separately. Triple H comes to the ring. He wants to put the focus on China, so we get to hear Triple H's music a second time. Triple H says, I'm happy for you. They take a trip down memory lane. Says, I've always been pretty giving to you. You've always been giving to me. I've never asked for anything until now. I want your number one contendership. And I want to wrestle for it. China says no, walks off. Triple H grabs her, starts running her down. You'd be nowhere without me. I made you. I can break you.
I'll start banging Stephanie, and you'll have no career.
There's that, too. You ungrateful bitch. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. China says you ain't got the balls to beat me. So apparently they're going to have a match tonight for the number one contendership.
I will say, in 1999, push comes to shove, I actually think in a real street fight, I would still take China over Triple H at that time.
Yeah, I mean, probably be a lot closer than you think. Next, you get Road Dogg versus Al Snow. Snow has Pepper the dog with him, and he leaves Pepper with Jerry Lawler, and JR goes, hey, you finally have a puppy.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Just seeing Pepper the dog makes me sad.
Yeah.
This fucking storyline. Go ahead.
Gone too soon. Boss Man interferes. Road Dogg gets the win. Boss Man's facing.
You know what, though? Pepper's up there with Katie Vick right now, looking down.
I don't
being
know.
like, Kevin Sullivan just told us, I got a great angle we're going to put you in. It involves my ex-wife's kid.
Jesus Christ. You ready to move on? Taker and Big Show come to the ring. They're talking about a tag title match later in the show, and they're going to be facing the winners. And Taker just goes on this long-winded story about Paul Bearer calling some friends in California to get a couple motorcycles. He's going to ride out to Death Valley with Big Show, but they only filled up Big Show's bike with enough gas so he would run out when he got there. And Taker said, how are you going to survive? Show said, I'm going to wait till you fall asleep. I'm going to kill you and eat your flesh until I find food. Taker said, good answer, but I don't sleep. And then he just bounced. And he said that Big Show came back in 2 days with a rattlesnake tie and lizard boots, carrying the Harley on his shoulder. Then Jericho comes out because he's forced to come out here and save this segment. And Taker says, judging by the peach fuzz on your chin, I have more shower time than you have ring time. There you go.
Weird beginning part of the segment. Thank you, Jericho, for showing up.
Yes. Then they show Jericho in the back. He's talking with Finkel, which is fucking hilarious. Finkel's just kissing his ass. All right, number one contendership match, Triple H versus China. Mankind comes out. He takes out Triple H with the steel steps while the ref's distracted. China gets the pin. Pretty straightforward. Mankind comes in to beat down Triple H with the chair, but he powders. Mankind chases Triple H to the back, gets on the ring. And China's still in the ring and says, I know there's this sexual tension between you and I. At this point, I saw a sign that said, China is my dad.
I didn't see that one. That's about as good as He's Single, fellas.
That's still the best one of all time. And Mankind tells China, if you've got the test, if you have the ovariological fortitude, give me a shot tonight for that number one contender role. China low blows him, says, no. HBK comes out as China's headed up the ramp. And you know what? I got a special place in my heart for Mick. Mick, you want, you shall receive. You're going to have a match tonight for the number one contendership. There you go. Next, you get Test versus Blackman. Blackman has his bag of weapons. Shane comes to the ring early in the match, gets a kendo stick, gives it to Blackman. Ref immediately calls for the bell. Shamrock makes a save, takes out Blackman, but Shane hits Shamrock with the kendo stick. Shamrock goes after him. Blackman comes back. Shane lays shots in on Test. There you go. Heels leave with the upper hand. Next, you get Michael Cole with Austin. Austin runs down Cole, cuts a promo on everybody, and says, doesn't make a damn to me who the number one contender is. Next, you get Kane and X-Pac versus the Acolytes for the tag title. Show and Taker watch from the top of the ramp. They don't get involved at all. Kane gets the pin. Acolytes double team Kane, and then X-Pac afterwards.
Suck it.
Next, we see Hardcore Holly in the back. He's talking to somebody through a door. You can't see who it is. And he says, don't come out till I tell you to come out. And then we get a tease of the British Bulldog returning to WWF. Yes. They left out the part where all he has to his name is one single pair of jeans. But they show no audio. They show a clip of an interview with JR, Davey Boy Smith, and Dirty Diana.
Oh, man, I forgot about calling her that.
Mm-hmm.
She was Dirty Diana.
She was. Hardcore Holly comes to the ring. Commentary mentions he had a confrontation with Big Show on Sunday Night Heat. And Holly keeps referring himself to as a super heavyweight. And he says, well, I got another super heavyweight. Come on out. And it's his cousin Crash. They bicker, and they fight off through the crowd.
I always liked Crash Holly more than Hardcore Holly.
Yeah.
Maybe because Hardcore was a dick to Matt Capitelli on the Tough Enough thing to make himself look like a badass to an inexperienced wrestler. Whatever. But I like Crash more, and unfortunately that's Mike. I can't remember his last name, but he passed away several years ago. But I like Crash. He's gonna start coming out with a big ass fucking scale every week, and I can't wait for it.
I like when Hardcore Holly smashes that jar of marbles over his head.
WrestleMania, baby.
Mm-hmm. Cole is with Mankind. Says, I don't want to hit China, but I'm not above sticking a sock in her mouth. Maybe you shouldn't say that out loud. Phrasing.
I'm going to start saying that at bars to women.
Yeah, sure. If you want to be inside the jail cell, it's probably a good idea. And he tells China, bring your ovaries and I'll bring... And he looks down and he goes, my guys. All right. Next, it's Mankind versus China to finally determine who will be the number one contender. And that is not a note that I wrote in there myself. That's what the fucking ring announcer announced it as.
Correct.
To finally determine who will be the number one contender. We see Triple H in the back. He's being restrained by officials. He eventually makes his way to the ramp. Mankind gets Sacco, locks it in, and he actually gets a pin with the mandible claw, similar to how... Meng does with the Tongan death grip. Mm-hmm. Right? Triple H runs in, goes after Mankind. China joins in. It's 2-on-1. Triple H goes after Mankind's knee with that Triple H injured 3 months ago with the sledgehammer. Shawn Michaels comes in to break it up, and then Shane comes out. Shane says it's a conspiracy against Triple H, and as owner of WWF, I'm demanding that tonight we get a match between Triple H and Mankind, that will determine the undisputed number one contender. Huh?
Attitude fucking Era. Jesus Christ.
Well, even better, he says, and I'll be the ref because Attitude Era. HBK says, well, I'm the commish. I'll grant the match, but no holds barred, falls count anywhere, and I'll be the second ref. Because Attitude Era. There you go. Next, you see Bob Holly, Hardcore Holly, and Crash Holly still fighting. This time they're on top of a semi-truck out in the parking lot. Mr. Ass comes to the ring. Says he had an allergic reaction to his herbal ass treatment. We get Rocky chants. Mr. Ass says, my ass is scarred. I'm handicapped. I'm imperfect. But I'll be at SummerSlam and Rock. Your face is going to look a lot worse than my ass. Well, Rock music hits. He comes out to the top of the ramp. He makes fun of Mr. Ass's music. Well, I'm an asshole. It's pretty good. Rock brings out the masseuse that gave Mr. Ass the herbal ass treatment, and they reveal that it was poison ivy set up by The Rock. They brawl. Mr. S gets the upper hand.
I'm not going to lie. And this can't be used as a show name, but there's nothing worse than an itchy asshole.
Well, I don't think he said his asshole itched. It was his cheeks, but sure.
Oh. Sorry, I thought I don't know. You do the whole treatment.
You have to pay extra for that.
Me so horny.
Me not too beaucoup.
My mama doesn't let me spend that money.
$5 is all my mom gives me. Rock's in the back with Michael Cole, cuts a promo. Austin comes to the ring. He joins commentary for the main event match. It's the 5th match tonight for the real number one, for real number one contender match. It's Triple H versus Mankind. Austin says he's going to find out who bounced that cinder block off his head. Trying to get some shots in when they fight up the ramp. Triple H gets the chair. HBK takes it from him. Mankind locks in Sacco, but Triple H backdrops Foley on the chair. And HBK and Shane both count 3, claiming their side got the pin because Attitude Era.
Attitude.
Ring announcer comes to the ring, says both men won. They're both number 1 contender. Triple threat for the title at SummerSlam because Attitude Era. Austin takes out Shane. Triple H and Mankind brawl. Austin just bounces. Triple H and Mankind start taking out the refs and the officials, and Austin flips everybody the bird from the top of the ramp. There you go. See you next week, folks.
I generally have zero issue. Generally. I was going to say genuinely or generally, and they came out with both. But
yeah, sure, or yes, sir.
Have zero issue with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look. Icon, merch seller, somewhere maybe in a lot of people's Rushmores. Me personally, I'm not really sure I actually want him there, but who the fuck are you that we had to make all this stupid dance around for heading into SummerSlam to give the title to Mick, who is going to drop it the very next night to Triple H? Yeah, spoiler. Sorry, motherfuckers. But it's just, like, to say Triple H wasn't ready. You gave it to Kane for one goddamn night for the King of the Ring. We gave it to The Rock. You gave it to Mick Foley. In what? Fine. He's not even diddling the boss's daughter yet. Fine, he did a fucking curtain call with his boys. But I gotta be honest with you, next heel in line, rightfully for the title, if watching everything in Raw, actually is Triple H. I see it that way, and I was okay with him winning the title. So, in a way, for me, fuck Austin on that.
Sure.
I'm saying you could have had a great one-on-one SummerSlam main event that we all could still be talking about to this date. Because Austin and Triple H had a match at Survivor Series after Triple H is the one that took him out with the car. They had Survivor Series 2000. But then their real only big match, and it was a badass one, was the original 3 Stages of Hell at the No Way Out 2001 pay-per-view. But imagine if you put that effort back in SummerSlam 99. Just saying, Austin was wrong at this time. For me personally, I didn't need to see Mick in this whole scenario. No. It just made it confusing and annoying to the point where if I ordered the pay-per-view previously, I'd be like, the fuck did I just order? Or if I hadn't ordered it yet, I'd be like, it seems kind of weird. Is it worth buying?
Mm-hmm.
Just me personally. But Attitude Era. Well, here it is, man. It's time. We have a top topic. We got a movie of the week, kind of. Let's dive into the top topic first.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for...
Best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. Hold 2, arm bar.
Sodas rule. Yeah, they do.
Hold 3, the moss-covered, 3-handle family gradunzel. It's me, Austin.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
I did it for The Rock.
This week's top topic.
You know something, Mean Gene? John Cena. Wrestling's not fake.
The Rolex wearing what? Diamond ring wearing what? Kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing what? Limousine right what? Jet flying what? Son of a gun, woo!
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
If you smell,
it is the final top topic of Season 5. Here in the season finale, and tonight it is, or today actually, it is ODM presenting to you UWF, Underwear Wrestling Federation. Did I get it right?
Marcus Welby.
Who?
Exactly.
I got it. No, but it is the UWF. I'm actually excited for what you are about to bring to the table. No pun intended from our earlier segment. Take it away.
Take it away, boys. So all the info I've obtained for this segment have come. So I don't know if you're familiar with this, that they actually did a Dark Side of the Ring episode on this. So most of my info comes from that. Picked up a little bit from Wikipedia, and don't at me. I understand they are not the end-all be-all for information. I am not Michael Scott, but I do understand.
So wait, got to go back to my bringing to the table. Motel 6, no lie. I had The Office on, and he goes, Wikipedia is great. Anybody can write anything on there, and it's true.
You know that you're getting the best info, yeah. I got a couple pieces of info from Brian Zane's channel, Wrestling with Regret, who I've talked to about before for Grandmasters of Wrestling. So the Universal Wrestling Federation. This is not to be confused with the Bill Watts promotion in the late 80s. Bill Watts never trademarked that name, so Herb Abrams, the founder of what we're talking about, the Universal Wrestling Federation, was able to use it. Herb Abrams was basically a money mark. He was Tony Khan before Tony Khan. And you're going to see there's a lot of similarities there. He was famed for wearing jeans and cowboy boots. His associates called him a businessman, quote unquote. There wasn't a lot of context. However, the one thing that he did own, he owned a chain of plus-size clothing stores for women called I'm a Big Girl Now. You know.
Is that where you found that girl in that Lane Bryan section? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, torrid. Anyway, Herb Abrams went to John Arezzi's Wrestling Fans Fantasy Weekend Convention in August of 1990. If you're not familiar, John Arezzi did a radio show. They actually reference him on Cornette's show every once in a while. I think he's on a lot of Brian Last podcasts. But this was a huge deal. There weren't really a lot of events like this during the time, and this was like the really big one. And it's funny because when you're watching Dark Side of the Ring, they have some footage from there, and you can actually see Cornette's there as well. So basically, Herb Abrams used this event to start pitching his promotion, and he got a long list of big names. He already at this point had Bruno Sammartino booked for commentary, which if you've ever heard Sammartino on commentary, you know that's not a good thing.
Just hear him talk, and that's enough.
Yeah. He got Lou Albano for the commentary and for the show, and they actually got Blackjack Mulligan as a booker before he got arrested. And apparently he was going to get Bruiser Brody, but Brody had just passed. So that never happened. So other wrestlers included Billy Jack Haynes, Bob Orton Jr., B. Brian Blair, Cactus Jack, Colonel De Beers, Dan Spivey, David Sammartino, you know how he got that job, Don Morocco, Ivan Koloff, Ken Patera, Paul Orndorff, Dr. Death Steve Williams, and some local talent, Wild Things Steve Ray, and Cutie Pie Louis Spicoli.
R.I.P.
Their first show was October 1st, 1990. Their TV show was called UWF Fury Hours. First tapings were held at the Reseda Country Club. You can't make that shit up.
Hey, not everybody starts at the fucking Madison Square Garden, okay?
They aired on Sports Channel America, later on Prime Ticket, and a little bit on ESPN2 after the fact. They had a jobber named Davey Meltzer. Fucking great. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but if not, it's fucking still hilarious.
Well, we know it's not the real one.
Yeah, for real. It definitely was not. This promotion was totally TK style booking. Schmaz finishes, double countouts, just all kinds of just bad booking. One match had Colonel De Beers refuse to have a black man as the referee and demanded a new ref. This is probably my uncle's favorite promotion.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be that. White man's supposed to be the one that counts to three.
Then a Hispanic ref comes out to replace the black guy, and De Beers had no issue with it.
One of the
Yeah, stop. Billy Jack Haynes comes out who's his opponent, and said, no, the black ref has to come back, and he does. And then De Beers beat the black ref with a leather belt. That's a real thing. So Herb Abrams at one point meets with Vince McMahon, and he pitches UWF running the West Coast, and Vince brushed him off. So Herb at this point had a huge hatred for WWF and Vince McMahon. And as part of this hatred, Herb Abrams brought in Andre the Giant to UWF on October 21st, 1990.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And he dies, was it 93 is when he died?
I'm not sure, but the best part is that as soon as Vince saw this, Vince is like, yeah, that ain't going to happen, and Vince immediately hired him back to WWF.
Which is probably why he got back in with the Bushwhackers and all of them right at the very end before dying. Yep, there it is. Makes sense.
There it is. So they had, and like Tony Khan, this promotion probably had a total of 20 different title belts during its run, and most of them only had one owner because they just never did anything. It was just titles were meaningless. But they had the UWF TV title, and the UWF TV title had UWF on both side plates. But when you would fold the title up, like Cody does, you know how he holds it like that, like the old school NW, it says you got the F from UWF on the left side and the U from UWF on the other side. So when you had it folded up, it said FU, which was another shot at Vince.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, cocaine's a hell of a drug. UWF held a taping in New York City at the New York Penta in January 91. And WWF sent a cease and desist order because Honky Tonk Man and Rick Rude appeared on camera, and they had both just left WWF but were still under contract. Later on, Honky Tonk Man would go on to explain that the check he got from Abrams bounced, which is a reoccurring theme throughout the history of this promotion. UWF expanded into the Florida market in mid-91. They held their first pay-per-view only, and technically their only pay-per-view ever, at the Manatee Civic Center in Palmetto, Florida on June 7th, 1991. And it was called Beach Brawl. It was headlined by a match between Dr. Death Steve Williams and Bam Bam Bigelow, which was the final round match of a 16-man tournament for the crowning of the first UWF Sports Channel television champion. Dr. Death wins. This pay-per-view had a buy rate of 0.1, around 10,000, and a crowd of 500 in attendance. Heroes of Wrestling had about 26,000 buys.
I literally turned to my computer and was about to type in Heroes of Wrestling buy rate. I was curious because, like, hang on, with that right there, how bad is it compared to that? That's fucking awesome.
Less than half. Following Beach Brawl, Abrams ran one final television taping before running out of fresh footage for Fury Hour, and he only ran 3 more shows after his Sports Channel America deal expired in late 91. After the failed pay-per-view, Herb Abrams does what any money mark does and booked himself into a feud with a manager called Mr. Red. And Abrams started calling himself Mr. Electricity. There's a promo. I'll send it to you after. And if you love it so much, you can throw it in right here.
Colonel Red, no one has ever done something like this to me! I am going to get you once and for all!
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. So Herb wasn't content with his discontent with WWF at this point. He took it a step further. He started releasing shitty merch, which, go look him up, and figured, you know what? WWF is doing so good with those ice cream bars. Let's release a line of oatmeal cookies, and we'll name them after our wrestlers. Now listen, I like oatmeal cookies. I'm probably in the minority there, and that's perfectly fine. But seriously, if you're going to sell food, why cookies? Why would you pick oatmeal? Why? It makes no sense.
100% agree.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like those things. What is it, like those dry ass rice cracker things that people eat? Those like thick ass, whatever.
Oh, rice cakes. Yeah.
Rice cakes.
Yeah.
It's like being like, man, that's what we're selling to our kids for wrestling fans.
Right.
Your favorite wrestler on a rice cake. Could you find anything worse?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So at this point, I mean, checks started bouncing more and more. Herb was getting confronted by wrestlers. They were at a show in South Carolina, and the TV crew was just going to walk unless they were paid up front. And against their better judgment, they accepted a check. Once they found out about the bad checks, they threatened to throw Herb out of a fifth-story window. At this point, Herb Abrams' cocaine use started increasing. Wrestlers stated they would walk into Herb's hotel room and see mounds of cocaine. Herb started becoming paranoid. When he got into a hotel room, he would rip apart everything, looking for bugs and microphones. He'd start looking out the window constantly. At one point, he tried paying a hooker with a check, and the pimps fucking broke down the door. Herb jumps out the window naked, just running through local neighborhoods trying to get away. And then he got inspired. I mean, we all draw inspiration from somewhere. He saw WrestleMania 9 and he said, you know what? We got to try to do something like that. So on September 23rd, 1994, he aired a live TV special called Blackjack Brawl. That sounds very similar to The Buy-In or other things like that. The event was held at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Yeah. Attendance was about 600.
Who was it main evented by?
Hold on. This event featured 9 championship matches.
Oh my God, it is AEW. Jesus Christ.
With 2 vacant championships being decided at the event and 7 new championships being contested at the event. The main event was Cactus Jack versus Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And
1994. Okay.
Yep. And it was so bad they just fought off into the empty stands. This would stand as the
How far
promotion's...
can we get from all the fans where they can't really get mad at us? How about we go beyond them?
It stands as the promotion's final event. Abrams left for New York City to care for his ailing mother in December of 94, and there was supposed to be an event called St. Valentine's Day's Massacre for February of 96 from the Grand Olympic Auditorium on Prime Sports Network, but it was canceled. Herb Abrams died of a cocaine-related heart attack in July of 96 while in New York, and the stories of his death are legendary and vary from person to person. The overarching thing that everybody agrees with is that Herb was at his office in New York City partying with hookers and cocaine. It's reported that he was covered in Vaseline or baby oil and cocaine over his entire body. He grabbed a baseball bat, started smashing the office up, and allegedly chased the hookers off with the bat. Some say it was just a coke-filled rage. Some say they tried to rob him. Some say Herb ran into the door chasing the hookers, and that caused his death. Some say he went to jail and seized in a cell. Some say he died in the back of a cop car. B. Brian Blair on Dark Side of the Ring says, Herb died doing what he loved, cocaine and hookers.
You know what, man? I'm going out like Herb.
So the guy who played Colonel Red / Mr. Red, who Herb booked himself in a feud with, his name is Marty Jesberg. He says he thinks Abrams faked his own death. He says one day he was running a show, Marty Jesberg, Colonel Red, was running a show in South Carolina under the UWF banner after Herb had died. And the promoter says a short guy in cowboy boots and jeans approached him and threatened to sue for using the name UWF. If you read one of Mick Foley's books, he actually goes into a little bit of detail about this time of his life, so you get some more information there. Believe it or not, UWF has won several Wrestling Observer Newsletter awards. 1990, worst television announcer. Herb
there
Abrams.
it is.
1991.
When's the worst coming out?
1991, worst promotion of the year, UWF. Worst TV show, Fury Hour. Most obnoxious, Herb Abrams. And 1994, worst major wrestling show, Blackjack Brawl.
Wow, so Tony Khan he's not reliving WCW, he's reliving this.
Mm-hmm. Cocaine and cowboy boats, dude.
Cocaine and cowboy boots.
Here's to you, Herb. That's actually the name of the episode on Dark Side. Cocaine and cowboy boots.
Oh, God.
Check it out.
Excellent. I'm going to have to dive in. Thank you very much for that that dissertation, if you will, of the UWF. Now, look it. Before we end this show, we can't go out without at least a little bit of an argument. I gotta be honest, I cannot remember even how this conversation got started through text.
I'm pretty sure we were both shit-faced and just started messaging each other.
No, I got that part. That was the easy part to remember. Or the only part. You said something about, like, nothing's going to stop us now.
You sent, we were talking about something completely unrelated. You sent a picture or a gif of Wesley Snipes from Wong Fu.
To Wong Fu.
And I replied... And I replied with a picture of Hollywood.
There it is.
That's what it was.
I said, man, I want to go watch Mannequin now. And then you said, nothing's going to stop
us now.
Then I said, likely unpopular opinion, number 2 is better than number 1.
You wrong, man. You wrong.
All right. All right, look at number 1. Sure. You got, what is it? Andrew McCarthy, and you got Kim Cattrall. Okay,
listen,
she looked 50 when she was 16,
bro.
Hang on, I ain't done. And when it comes to McCarthy, he was only good in one fucking thing: Weekend at Bernie's. Fuck him. The second one, you mean to tell me you prefer Kim Cattrall over Christy Swanson?
Yup.
Oh, God. Wow. Someone watched a lot of Sex in the City.
Nah, but Kim Cattrall's the OG MILF because she looked like a MILF before she was a MILF.
That's the issue.
That's not an issue.
That means the other parts are probably going to be MILFish even when she was at 20.
Nah. You don't know that. Arby's was pretty popular back then.
Swanson is toy, like a tiger. tight.
Not unless she was with Weinstein.
Who wasn't? But what I'm trying to get at is that I actually like the second movie a little bit better. Yeah, sure, you got, your main guy. He's not really the big draw, but Hollywood's there. He's the only reoccurring character, really, overall.
Mm-hmm.
But the Count Spritz. They work at the mall. Remember those guys that... Oh, come on, dude. You never even watched number 2, did you?
This was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
No, I cannot.
Number 1. No, I cannot.
Listen.
I think this one... All right, go ahead.
The first one, aside from having Starship singing that beautiful song at the end,
Let's say you were crazy. What do they know? But you're on the mind. Don't ever let go.
All right, I'm done.
All right, there we go. You also have...
Sorry.
I'm going to murder you. James Spader.
Yeah.
Angie W. Bailey, who was Lieutenant Harris from Police Academy, with his little bulldog. And I like Andrew McCarthy. He was good in Weekend at Bernie's. He was in the Brat Pack. He never really was a starring role, but I always enjoyed watching him anytime I saw him in a movie. He was in that one movie where it was like him and like a family of kids who didn't have any parents, and he was trying to like be the adult, and they wouldn't let him, and they tried to take the kids away. You remember that one? No, just me? All right, fine.
Oh, that was my childhood. But also, he's in another one. I can't fully remember the name of it. It might be like Stag or something like that, where him and a bunch of guys are at a stag party, and the hooker ends up dead. And I like stumbled upon it randomly on HBO one night when I was a kid. And McCarthy goes full-blown villain. He's like, and this is how we're getting rid of this dead bitch.
Nice. Isn't there, what's the other one? Where that's the exact same premise, but it's like a dark comedy. Daniel Stern's. No, Daniel Stern's in it, I think. Who the fuck else is in it? Everything just falls to pot, and at the end, like, the guy's an invalid, and the wife goes running out screaming in the street because her life sucks so bad. What the fuck is the name of that movie?
I don't know. I was about to say Celtic Pride, and we said Daniel Stern, but I went to a different one.
No, hey, Gardenhoser.
Ragenbauger. So, I'm just saying, I find Andrew McCarthy, whatever. Kim Cattrall, Second one was way better. I think it had a better premise.
You wrong, man. You wrong. Stay
necklace.
black.
It was all about the necklace. It was all about the necklace.
Yeah, I hear you like necklaces.
I don't even know what that means. Is that an insult? Did you try to do an insult there? Jesus Christ, you're worse than Mannequin 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this season. Next season, more things change. The more they're pretty much just going to stay the same, but it is season 6 next season. Things are going to get a little different when you hear the intro. Things will get a little different when you hear the middle of the show. Not really. Probably nothing will change. I'll probably just keep using the same intro by accident.
Probably.
But hey, you know what? I do appreciate everybody who has stuck with us throughout the entire season, especially if you were listening on, I don't know, apps like iTunes, Spotify, Pam, Jesus Christ, I'm not even going to try it. That's just
Pam.
Fail. Pam. Are you saying Pan or Pam? There's 2 M's. I get it. Okay, that was the issue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Professor. I appreciate you guys listening every week as you do. Next week, we are back, as always, at 12 o'clock. I am the Professor. I bid you a farewell for the final time in Season 5. He's ODM, and his final thoughts for Season 5 coming at you in 3.
Thanks, Professor. You know, I just want to say, looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want you so much to give you, this love in my heart that I'm feeling for you. Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby. Don't ever look back. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we... You cocksucking son of a bitch! Hit the music, you fucking Momo. The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor Mark Fantasia and ODM, the Doc, Joe Rizzo. Feel free to reach out to the show by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com, on their Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. You can listen to the show on most popular platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, and YouTube. Without your continued support, it would be just some guys talking wrestling, which is pretty much what it is anyway. Good night, folks.
I was today years old when I found out that Temple of the Dog is a fucking supergroup.
Yeah. Half Pearl
I didn't
Jam,
realize
half
Eddie
Soundgarden.
Vedder. I never realized Eddie Vedder was with Chris Cornell in that. I knew Audio Slave.
Vedder was one song.
Oh, he only did the Hunger Strike?
He only did Hunger Strike. He might have done backing vocals on a couple, but Mike McCready, the guitarist for Pearl Jam, was a guitarist. Yeah. So that's why it's perfect. It's like you get the cool guitar of Pearl Jam and the drums, and you get Chris Cornell's voice and Soundgarden's bass player, who is fucking supremely underrated.
Yeah. I do prefer Soundgarden's guitarist.
Oh, Kim Thale? Kim Thale's the man.
Yeah. Well, because you look like him.
Yeah. You heard that? Did I tell you that story?
Did I tell you that's what Marty... I told you that, Marty, when I was like, my buddy Joe and I were doing the podcast. This is like 4 years ago. He goes, the one that looks like Thale, right? I'm like, yeah, actually it is.
I was in Wisconsin for training for the EMR that we use, and I just ended up eating lunch with some random people, that were there from wherever else in the country. And it's back when I had long hair, and he's like, dude, you look like Kim Thale. And I looked at him, I go, that's quite possibly the nicest compliment I've ever gotten in my life.
Right? I had someone tell me once I look like Adam Sandler, and I'm like,
holy shit, that happened to me in Wegmans 2 days ago.
They said you look like Adam Sandler?
Some slow fucking dude comes up to me.
Bearded out, the way he looks in Uncut Gems, yeah, you kind of do look like him now.
Oh, so I look like a Jewish gambling addict? That's cool.
There's so many other options I could have went with on that. I was like, well, you could have been a golf player that used to be a hockey player, and you're trying to win your grandmother's house back.
No.
You want to be starting something. Have you seen that meme? The meme about the thing?
I'm sure I've seen it before.
Okay, so all my life, for real, it was Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa, Mama say, Mama say.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm going to say one more time, I'm not going to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I was fucking 40 years old to find that shit out. And I was like, are you shitting me? And I was like, I've been saying, I played that song. There was a Jason Mraz song that Nate and I used to like doing, and we would slip that in, and it was Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa.
I think
I was like, yo, the guy's scatting.
Yeah, I think your version's acceptable. I think most people think that's what it is.
I think everybody thought that's what it was. There's no way anybody was like back then going, I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah. No.
But it's funny. It goes with what the lyrics are. If you really read it, you're like, huh, yeah, it does make sense. No
that
shit.
Makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, there it is. No,
I read you loud and clear.
No, I. It's funny you were singing that. I went right back to what I was listening to before the show began. 'Cause when it's my time to throw the next stone.
I got that vinyl for my birthday.
Really? Dude, I gotta be honest with you. That is an absolutely beautifully written song. And I don't think people give that enough credit. Like, I'll call you beautiful if I call it all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a deep song.
And when it's my line to call your bluff.
That and then you were mad or whatever because I came home. I went digging for gold and came home with a handful of coal.
Coal, yeah.
Oh my God, such a fucking line, dude. Good shit.
That whole album, top to bottom, is flawless. And the first two songs Cornell had already written. Okay. After I think Andrew Wood died, because it's a tribute album to Mother Love Bone, who used to be a band with some of those members in it.
And is that where Hunger Strike comes from?
No, Hunger Strike. So the first two songs are Say Hello to Heaven and Reach Down. And Reach Down is one of my all-time favorite grunge songs of all time. It's like 12 minutes long.
Say Hello to Heaven is the tribute.
And so is Reach Down.
Is hunger strike in any way?
Nope. It was just an after the fact. The rest of the album, it was just, hey, I've got these 2 songs. Let's all get together and fucking do this. And I just wrote the rest.
The only
of the
reason
songs.
I ask is YouTube. When you read comments, people are like, "This was for blah 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 and blah blah blah," and they're naming all these people, and it's like this was for Kurt Cobain. I'm like, I can't imagine that they.
Kurt
did
Cobain
Hunger
was
Strike
still alive when that album came out.
Thank you. Yo, true story. Do you remember where you were when you found out Cobain died?
No, I don't.
I do. I was at my buddy's house, Jose. Needless to say, my dad didn't like me going over there, because, he's an old fucking... He's your Uncle Steve sometimes. But his mom, her English was decent, but not like extremely fluent, or however you want to say it, whatever.
No, Jose, no here.
Did I tell you that story about the time I showed up and he wasn't at home? No. No, but hey, God. So we're just like passing through in the living room or whatever. Jose was a big wrestling fan too. That was one of the things we liked, and we were just passing by in the living room or whatever. And it says Kurt Cobain has died, blah, 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 and they're doing a news thing. And we were like, yo, that's crazy. And Jose was a big Nirvana fan, or like he was into grunge, for a Mexican kid. And she goes, you know what? He's one of those assholes. That's why he died. He's an asshole. That's how I found out Kurt Cobain died, was listening to this lady who wasn't really fluent, full-blown in English, and she's like, he's an asshole. And I was like, okay.
Good to know.
It was funny because, like, come Monday morning, you hear Kurt Cobain died? Yeah, he's an asshole.
He's an asshole, apparently.
It's just, it was weird how she just, like, was harping on it. And I was like, your son's actually pissed off right now. And you're like, good. He should be dead, that drug addict, fucking sex, rock and roll fueled motherfucker. Buenos dias.
Nailed it. Cock. I was like one line away from the hook.
I feel like the outro should just be, and we should build the street again.
You cocksucker.
Dude, it took me a minute. As soon as I'm like, I gotta jump in. I'm gonna sing it. I'm sorry.
One line away from the hook.
Were you gonna sing it?
No, I figured you would, but you came in early.
Oh, it sounded like I was on time on my end.
No, you were a line off.